If you can't reach your back, or put on a jacket, or simply carry up your arms without sharp stabbing pain in the shoulders, then you probably think that you have a bad rotator cuff muscles. But in 90% of the cases, the shoulder isn't the problem. It is the victim of silent killer that is located 6 inches away from the shoulder. So when the shoulders hurt, your first instinct is to rub the shoulder joint or to stretch the arm. You feel like rubbing the shoulder or even stretching the arm. But if you do that, you are just irritating a tendon that is already being crushed. The number one cause of shoulder pain is not weakness in the arm. It is total shutdown of your shoulder blade. That is the scapular bone, the shoulder blade. So if your scapula doesn't move, your shoulder joint literally runs out of space, grinding the bone against the muscle every time you lift your arm. So today I'm going to show you the impingement trap and one movement that fixes the root cause of the shoulder pain. So point number one is the space issue or the impingement. So your shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint. A ball and socket joint, which means that there's a ball that inserts in the socket, but there is a narrow space tunnel where the tendons live. So in between the socket there is a space. As the socket inserts, there is a space, and when you have poor posture or a stuck shoulder blade, that tunnel will collapse and lifting your arms becomes slapping or slamming a door on a finger. So what happens is that if this space reduces, if this space decreases, if you try lifting your arm upward, then the shoulder blade, if it has collapsed, then what you do is that you do the impingement, which means that you are compressing the nerve tissue, and this is what causes pain. So if you stop doing the overhead presses, if it hurts, then you're just slamming the door harder on the inflammation, and you should stop doing that. Point number two is the shoulder blade foundation. So the shoulder blade, that is your scapular bone, is the foundation of the arm. It is responsible for majority of the movement of the shoulder. It is responsible for the movement of the shoulder. So it is the foundation of the movement, and if the foundation is tilted forward from a sitting at a desk, for example, the roof of the shoulders will move down, and this makes it mechanically impossible to lift your arm without pain. So if the foundation, that is the shoulder blade or the scapular bone, is tilted forward from sitting at a desk, that is for those who do office work, then the roof of the shoulders will move down, and this makes it mechanically impossible to lift your arm without pain. So you should focus on scapular setting exercises, pulling your shoulder blade back and down before you move your arm. Then number three is the rotator cuff meet. So people think that they need to strengthen the rotator cuff to fix the pain. The rotator cuff muscles are the muscles that are responsible for the stabilization of the shoulder joint and also the internal and external rotation of the shoulder. So most people think that if they have shoulder pain, then they need to strengthen the rotator cuff muscles. You can strengthen the muscle that is being pinched, but then you need to create a space first, then you strengthen. Before you strengthen, you need to create a space. Remember, I said that there is a decrease in the space, and if you strengthen these muscles without creating a space first, then you are not solving the root cause of the problem. So if you try doing external rotation or internal rotation, that is moving your shoulder in and outwards, if it is weak and painful, then your calf is working overtime to compensate the stiff upper back. Then number four, we have the thoracic connection. So your shoulder is only as mobile as your mid back. So the shoulder, we have the shoulder blade at the back. So this shoulder blade, as you can feel it, it has a connection with the thoracic region, that is the thoracic spine, and the ribs. So if your upper back is hunched, if you have hunched back position, then your shoulder blades can't slide properly. Remember, if you try moving your arms up and downward, then your shoulder blade should be able to slide. So if your upper back is hunched, then your shoulder blades can't slide properly, and the stiffness in your spine is what actually causes the breakdown in your shoulder. So a practical advice is that you can spend 2 minutes a day doing thoracic extension exercises over a foam roller or over the back of the chair. So one of the exercises that you can do is thoracic extension exercises. For example, you can just put your arms together, then move your arms upward. As you move your arms upward, remember you are doing the thoracic extension up exercises. So as you do this, then you move up and outwards. With that, you are able to do the thoracic extension exercises. So does your shoulder click or pop when you move it in circles? So if you move your shoulder in circles, do you hear a click or a pop in it? Let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you if that's normal or not, and what it means. So summary, the number one cause of shoulder pain, in order to fix the number one cause of shoulder pain, then you need to stop irritating the pinched tendon. Number one, you need to stop irritating the pinched tendon. Then number two, you should fix the foundation, that is the shoulder blade. Always ensure that you fix the shoulder blade or the scapular bone. Number three is you should clear the roof by improving the upper back mobility. Ensure that the thoracic region is mobile in order for you to have that decrease in the pain. Then number four is to ensure that you strengthen only after you have created a space. So first of all, you need to create a space within the shoulder joint, and then you strengthen the muscles, that is the rotator cuff muscles. And then the best treatment for this is usually what we call the manual therapy. So manual therapy, this is whereby we can apply traction, we can apply contraction, and approximation. And for this, you can put your comments in the comment section or contact me through the email, whereby I'll give you a proper breakdown on how to do the traction and the counter traction, and how the manual therapy will be able to help you fix the shoulder joint issues. So don't wait for a small pinch to become a major tear. Don't wait for the small problem that you feel at the shoulder joint to become a major tear. So if this explained your pain better than 10-minute doctor's visit, hit that like and subscribe button. Share this with a gym partner, that is if you go to the gym, or anyone who struggles to reach overhead, anyone who is struggling to do overhead activities, struggling to put on their jackets just to reach backward. If you know anyone, you can share them.